Welcome to EasyEuge, the channel to help you to learn maths super easy, super fast. And in this video, I'm going to be explaining how to multiply decimal numbers by 10, by 100, and by 1000. So if you're ready, let's get started. If you're new to the channel, make sure to hit that subscribe button and click like on this video, and make sure that you watch all the way through to the end for question of the day. Let's start by doing a few examples of multiplying decimal numbers by 10. So the first one is 7 by 10. Now from your times tables, your 10 times tables, you know the answer to this is 70 because 7 tens are 70. But let me show you what 7 looks like as a decimal. 7 is the same as writing 7.0. So when we multiply by 10, we are going to make the number 7 10 times bigger. So let me show you a little trick about moving the decimal point. When you're multiplying by 10, you can take the decimal point from 7.0 and move it to the right. We move it to there. So it jumps from in the middle to the end. So this becomes 70. 70.0 really, but we know that any 0.0 you can just cut that bit off and leave it as 70. So we know that 7 tens are 70. So when we go on to the next example of 0.4 multiplied by 10, let's use that trick that we've learned. Let's write down 0.4. So this is going to end up being 10 times bigger. So remember what you've learned. To multiply by 10, we can take that decimal point and jump one time. There's 1 0. Let's take that decimal point and we move it to here. So the decimal point is after the 4. So this becomes 0.4, which is also the same as writing 4. So the answer to 0.4 multiplied by 10 is 4. So let's do that one more time with something that looks quite hard. 3.12 multiplied by 10. So we write that down as 3.12. So remember what you've learned. There's 1 0. So we're going to move this decimal point one place. And when you're multiplying, you go to the right. So let's take this and we put it in there. So this becomes 3.1.2. We took that decimal point and we put it in between the 1 and the 2. So there it is. So 3.12 multiplied by 10 is very simply 31.2. And that's the trick to multiplying any decimal number by 10. Let's move on to multiplying decimal numbers by 100. So we start with a nice easy one as always. 3 multiplied by 100, well we know that that is simply 300. But let's write 3 down as a decimal first. So 3 is the same as writing 3.0. So when we multiply by 100, you can see there's 2 zeros. We can move that decimal point 2 places to the right. So let's take the number 3, or 3.0, and we'll move it 1, 2. Now you'll notice we jumped over free space here. So that's the same as having a 0 in there. So 3.0 is the same as 3.00. We can have as many zeros as we want. So when you move a decimal point 2 places, it goes over this one and over this one, and the decimal point ends up here. So this becomes 300.0, which is also the same as 300. So we get the same answer as here. 3 by 100 is 300. Now let's use that trick on something a bit more complicated, like question 5. 0.8 multiplied by 100. So we start by writing down 0.8, and I've added on a 0. We could add on as many zeros as we want, because we're going to move that decimal point 2 places. So we're multiplying by 100. There's 2 zeros. Let's move 2 places. 1, 2. And the decimal point goes here. So the answer is 80. 0.8 multiplied by 100 is 80. Let's do that one more time with something that looks quite complicated, but now that you know the trick, let me show you how easy this can be. 5.72 multiplied by 100. Okay, we're multiplying. That means we're moving the decimal point to the right. We're moving it 1, 2 places. Let's do it. 1, 2. The decimal point goes here. So the answer now is 572. 572. Finally, let's look at multiplying any decimal number by 1000. So let's start off nice and easy with 2 multiplied by 1000. So 2 1000s is very simply 2000. So we know the answer is 2000 before we even start. So let's write down 2 as a decimal. So 2 is the same as 2.0. Okay, and if we're going to multiply by 1000, we're going to make the number 2 1000 times bigger. So we're going to move the decimal point to the right because we're multiplying, and we're moving it 3 places. 1, 2, 3. So let's take this decimal point from the 2 and we'll move it 1, 2, 3. And we've ended up jumping over some blanks, so we can fill these in with zeros. Because 2.0 is the same as 2.000. So if we've moved the decimal point from here 1, 2, 3 places, it's ended up at the end down here. So this number becomes 2000. 2000. Let's move on to question 8, which is a bit trickier. 0.12 multiplied by 1000. We'll start by writing down 0.12, and you know the trick. We're multiplying by 1000. Let's move the decimal point 3 places to the right. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Let's put a 0 in the blank space, and this becomes 0, 1, 2, 0. And we can get rid of the first 0 because it's got no value. So this becomes 120. And finally, this super tricky looking number of 3.456 multiplied by 1000. We'll write down the number first, write down the decimal number. We're multiplying by 1000, so we're going to move the decimal point 1, 2, 3, 3 places to the right. Let's do it. 1, 2, 3. It's ended up down here. So this becomes 3.456.0. Welcome to question of the day. What is 0.752 multiplied by 100? So remember to use what you've learned in the video, give it a try, see what answer you get, and leave that answer in the comments of the video. Thanks again everybody for watching, and I'll see you again in the next video.